Let's see, how long did that take? Took 9 minutes. That's not too bad. All right. Hi, girls. Hi, everybody. Woo, woo. So is there any topic you wanted or just want a message? So put that in here. So, because today, thank you, I took yesterday off. Well, not completely, but however, from doing a live stream, I did have one scheduled, and I will come back and we'll play with the ancient stones. However, in living an intuitive life, it's really important to listen to your intuition. And it's also important to understand who you are and how you operate best. So as that comes together, I am so excited about all this information, and I'm so excited about these trips. And I have so many people interested, and so many people, oh, I have this and I have that and I have this and I have that. And of course it's life, right? So we are doing a Greece retreat next year. It's either going to be in October or May, or maybe both. I don't know. They're both coming through right now. And however, the information as it comes through, when you do your intuitive work, you really burn through your serotonin. And it's important to keep that replenished. It doesn't just make you happy, but that's what your pineal's doing. That's your inner eye. And that's what turns into melatonin and eventually into DMT that helps you to connect to the other realms in your brain. You have that in you. And so replenishing the serotonin through some cacao and whatever else really serves you. So I have been swimming in the oceans, and yesterday I slept in, and I did a lot of sitting and a lot of crying and a lot of emoting and just letting myself be with whatever was coming up, because you have to listen. So the good part is that all the doing that we've been doing can be less. And all the planning can be less. And the mind spinning through everything you have to do. So, or a particular problem, you might get hooked on. So there's a beautiful iguana right outside the window here, just kind of turned like this. Hi, sweetie. And hi, Arete. and so as you come on, please say hi and ask a question of the Greek gods and goddesses. So we'll dive into that in a second. Ooh, it's 11:11. We just started. And so what we're doing is living an intuitive life means that you're willing to listen to your inner voice. And there can be some fantasy around that. So here I'm talking about gods and goddesses. There can be some fantasy around it, though, because interpreting intuitive guidance is one of the most challenging things, especially when you've felt like you got guidance and you took action on it, and then things didn't really work out the way you'd hoped, and you were like, what's going on here? So having guides, understanding that we have, like this iguana to me is not just like, oh, that's cute. I have iguanas. I live in Mexico. There's like an iguana there, and there's one that lives on top of my pool equipment house and so on. However, that iguana being right there in my line of vision, right in this one little window, and then staying there. So she's like posed and she's staying there, and she keeps moving a little bit. Nope. Now she looked the other direction, because I was like, she's looking straight at us. Now she looked the other way. So that is, it could be a message, right? Because the energy of her being there is attracting me. It's also, what's up, dude? Okay, she's going to go this way. So she left her message. It's also just her energy, her presence, right? So whatever it is that's in your life that you think was a message, the interpretation process is a process of getting to know yourself and understanding. When you feel clear on the message, then, how do I implement the message? When do I implement the message? With whom do I implement this message? And all those things are a factor, because some things come into our lives just to wake us up, like a trigger, to flip one of your soul triggers. And I call them soul triggers. Like, do you ever wake up and just suddenly go, I don't want to do this job anymore, right? Or, you just suddenly start feeling like, we need to move, but I don't want to move. I love where I live. I never thought about moving. And that's what happened to me. That's how I ended up over here. I used to live on the Caribbean. And so, and loved it. And now I can look back and go, wow, thank God we listened. Thank God. Thank God we listened, because this is the kind of thing that a lot of people have a hard time with, because we've been taught to try to know everything and plan everything and have everything go perfectly. And if it doesn't, then there's some form of feeling bad or criticism on our own part or on that of others. And that's not the reality, okay? We're moving into a fluid reality. We're moving into the realization we're creators. You could call yourself a god, goddess if you want, that's fine. The concept of a god or a goddess is another energy of life form, and subtle life forms are life forms as well. Subtle meaning not visible, tangible, the way that we think of, like my little mug. So they are embodiments of qualities, and then they came so often to the people. And there's these moments in our history where we had these huge leaps in consciousness, just blah, 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 boom, blah, 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 boom. And if you're ever interesting, there's some very interesting, very difficult to read books. Zecharia Sitchin wrote a lot of books about the pantheon of gods. And a lot of people have looked at this and they go, why did the pantheon of the Roman gods was the same as the Greek gods? Well, that's easy to answer. They conquered and stole everything from the Greeks, thank goodness, and copied everything almost literally, thank goodness. So a lot of what we know about the ancient Greeks is from the Romans. And so they just changed the names, right? So, but before that, the same pantheon was in Babylon and Sumeria and so on and so forth. And you can look and see a lot of similarities in the kinds of gods, the types of gods that are in these different cultures. There's always a god of nature, often a god and a goddess of nature. And there's always a person that is, well, the supreme god type of thing. However, there's always somebody who is a messenger from the gods. So this becomes very interesting, because when you free your mind of religion, this has nothing to do with religion whatsoever. Just get rid of all man-made concepts. We're talking about the universe, the multiverse, the reality. You can think about it scientifically if you like. I read a lot of science stuff, love science stuff. That energetic, what do we do in energetic ways? How is this formed? This is formed because it's matter combined in a specific combination, vibrating at a certain rate until it reaches a vibrational rate where it appears to our perceptions. That's what manifest means, to make appear to your eyes. That's your bigger perception, all of your eyes. And so everything in form, including our body, is an intention of consciousness that is manipulating and moving energy, which turns into the form of light, which holds information, codes and codes of information, which is like infinite, anything you want, which then turns into elements, right? It turns into colors, and it turns into water and earth and so on and so on. And these begin to form a body or something in physical 3D. But remember, we are this tiny little center of the Tootsie Pop, and our light body is this, and the universe we live in is this, and the multiverse is even bigger than that. And then there's source. Source is just everything, just it's all here. There's no organization. That's what chaos is. It's not people going, ah. Chaos means everything in a disorganized way. There's no plan. There's no organization yet. So if Zeus is the manifestation of a supreme masculine entity, a deity, somebody who is a king, quote unquote. Now remember, we're not going into that whole paradigm of class systems and kings and queens and who's good and bad. This is, again, a word that we're using as an archetype that holds energy. So if you've ever done any archetype work, it's absolutely fascinating, because like Carolyn Meese, she's got an archetype deck. She has a book called Sacred Contracts. And the essence is that you have these parts of you that have either lived a particular life inside of an archetype, because this is again a form from the divine mind of which we are a part of, and that forms. So gods and goddesses are the idea, or let's go back to Zeus. Zeus is the idea of, we have to have masculine and feminine energy. You could call it yin and yang or black and white. You could call it, Mary and Joe. I don't care what you want to call it. It isn't about gender and it isn't about people. These two energies of duality have to come together. Again, this is formed from a divine mind, from a higher thought, that in order for those two things then, okay, mix together like this. And then it's the duality. Like, I wouldn't be sitting here if the chair wasn't holding me up and the floor wasn't holding me up. So it takes resistance or the opposite force in order for me to exist in physical reality. And otherwise we would all just be like fluid, right? So that's what they are like. So you always have that. And if you say, okay, Zeus is like a real pal of mine. This is my perception energy. So I want you, I'm going to tell you just the basics of what they're each of the 12 main Olympian gods, because there's wave after wave after wave of gods that were created. The first ones being the elementals. And, the Maya have the same story. Like first came this, Mother Earth concept came first. So we have Gaia, right? And that's the Greek name for the earth, but she was the primordial divine goddess. She embodied the most divine energy. And interestingly, I'm just realizing this right now. Interestingly, she was not the wife of Zeus. A goddess named Hera, who, I could care less about. Sorry, Hera. Because primarily they had her stories, her myths, her archetypical stories were really just about being a jealous wife and causing a lot of havoc, because Zeus was running around making babies with lots of mortals and other gods and so on and so forth. So the myths you have to take with a grain of salt, because they make these people sound like a soap opera, and yet they're showing what energies do and what nature does and how. So I consider personally Gaia, and she's the 13th, 13th element, the 13th. Because there's 12 Olympian gods. So I put her in there and I call her 13 because she is the original primordial goddess of the divine who created the earth and created people and so on. And then Zeus is holding that divine masculine energy of being strong and holding your boundaries, right? Understanding he's the god of the sky, because we really do think often of like this, the sky being out there, right? That is the rest of subtle reality. Heaven is up there, something's out there. And so the god of the sky with a thunderbolt. Well, I like Zeus for a lot of reasons because of my childhood memories and reading these things. And I was super, super, super attached with Athena, and she was very special to Zeus. He was her father. She popped out of his head, and mental creation, fully formed, not a baby, didn't need a duality. So there's an interesting energy there too. And right, so when he's embodying the lightning bolt, what do we think of a lightning bolt? This is life force, right? Ka-toom, start life force up again. So this is the embodiment of somebody who can reboot or restart things in your life, that can either protect you the way that a divine masculine energy would, like a king. They're supposed to be taking care of their kingdom. They're supposed to be feeling, receiving the help, the support, the money, the power, not going, oh, I'm not worthy of it. They're standing in their power because that's the essence of this archetype. That's the essence of this being, is I'm not going to stand here and apologize for being big and strong and able to protect and create everyone. I am going to be that. So all of these are teaching us to be who we are created to be. And then you have to understand yourself or know yourself, and then you can be that. And in the process, you might start being something before you know it's you. And that's a really fun way too. So manifesting your true self, your path, awakening all of these things within you can take a lot of forms. You could just be naturally drawn to doing something every day, and you start doing this meditation, or you start swimming every day, or you start whatever. And then that begins to draw forward from you, wow, this really is me. This is what I want to embody. Because we're really buried under a lot of beliefs, fears, and judgments of ourselves and our body and our life and our resources and our choices. Yes, okay. So Zeus says he wants us to say choices, and then he goes like that with his lightning bolt. Choices. That's really good. I like that. So he's saying when you connect to some energy like him, when you have we've been talking about this too, because, hang on. In class and different places as well, is the idea of re-embodying. And recently we had some really beautiful cosmic energies that came through that gave a crown chakra. Ooh, I'm feeling it right now. That's in here somewhere in YouTube, in our playlists of meditation, I think. So when we embody our ruler, our king, our queen, our whatever you want to call yourself, it means that nobody is above you. You don't defer your choice to anyone else. And when you don't defer your choice to anyone else, now what happens? Well, first of all, it can be scary because it comes back on you. And then you haven't trusted your own choices. So now you're going out and going, oh. So good or bad, right or wrong, you have to say Zeus's energy, the divine masculine supreme God kind of energy that we're talking about tapping into, can form life, can destroy life, can stand and protect against anything, has free will and free choice, and has another layer of the desire to procreate. So let's get our heads out of men, and just go into the energy. If the masculine divine energy force that's flowing through that's making your body be real didn't have a desire to procreate, then we would have no life. We would have no more form. We can't decide that I want another mug. I want another mug. I want another mug. I want another mug. Make a mug. Make a mug. 3D doesn't make 3D. Life force makes 3D. So it knew it had to join with the divine feminine. So the divine feminine comes through in these different archetypes in a lot of ways, like him chasing nymphs and women and different things. But if we again get out of our judgmental mind and we say, then you see the story unfold. He's the original divine masculine that has to populate the world. And so many demigods begin to run around. So we did the healing. Oh, it was so beautiful. On Thursday, we talked about the healing centers they had all over that were dedicated to a god named Asclepios. And he was half human. He was Zeus with a human woman, and therefore he was a god, and yet he was human. How better to have somebody help heal you? Because he's half human and half god. What is that telling us? That is telling us, so are we. So we are sons of Zeus, or we are daughters of Zeus. And we are, or any name you want to put to that divine masculine energy, okay? Remember, not religion. And so that beautiful energy to me always was father. And he was a father, not that I love my father, but he was a different kind of father, a father that right? And because he was deep in my psyche and my memories and my childhood abilities of talking to fairies and living in other worlds all the time, it was very real. It felt like I went there. So how you relate to the divine masculine supreme type of energy, right, is your choice. Thank you. He keeps going like that when I'm about to say something. Choice. So, Happy to be here with Zeus. Yay, me too. Hi, Sylvia. And Stephanie. Oh, good. And Sherry. Hi, Sherry. And hi, Kay. Oh, hi, Deb. Wonderful. Please advise I'm doing the right thing and taking this leap of faith. Woo, woo, woo. Brand new love. All right. I love that. Well, we will have to talk to Aphrodite about the brand new love, won't we? So, that's okay. That's as much as we're going to go into Zeus right now, because I want you to just get in. Okay, I am a creator. I want you to think of yourself as different. When somebody says you are a god, get over it. And that was a book, honestly, that Joe Vitale gave me once. I knew Joe Vitale and used to spend a lot of time with him and a group of people, and we used to do different kinds of masterminds and things. And I went to his first little event in a little room, and he, if you don't know him, he's in The Secret. And he gave us a bunch of books, and this was one of them. This teeny tiny little book, and basically that was the whole book. You're God, get over it, go on with life. So I think it's better to take the God out of that, because we have so much heavy conditioning and understanding and guilt and fear, and so many lives that were in some way religious, like, right, if you were burned at the stake, that's a religious thing. If you were well, a lot of different things. Like, you could have been Galileo, for heaven's sakes, and you still had problems with the church. So Socrates was eventually required to drink poison and kill himself, even though he's still considered one of the greatest Greeks. And at the time, they did love him and hate him and love him and hate him. So remember, that's the same for us right now. We're the ones that are awakening first. We're the ones that are consciously walking around like, wait a minute, there's more to this story. There's more to me. So that divine energy is like tuning into the divine masculine and the yang life force energy, which you have two of these meridians. They're called Ida and Pingala, and they go up your spine. And that's what the caduceus is, the snakes that represent, but they're rarely doing that because there's so many blocks. So they're not coming and reaching the third eye. They're supposed to go through every chakra where they cross. It's the divine feminine and divine masculine, and life force. Lightning bolt, right? And that is bringing that balance and that power to that chakra. And then it goes out again and it comes in the next chakra, boom, and the next chakra. And then by the time it reaches here, where you see the snake's heads, the caduceus symbol is the medical symbol, you know, it's actually right here at the level of the third eye chakra, and the open mouth of the snakes, which is considered a wise healer and a divine being and a transformative energy. That's bringing kundalini, it's bringing life force up, and it's pouring it into your third eye, which when you reach a certain point of balance of these energies, divine masculine, divine energy, accepting myself, no more carrying all this shit in the way, boom, you have an epic awakening. And then the wings open. Okay, so when you see the wings on top of that staff, that's what that represents. That's your pineal now opening up to all of its different antennas, you know, the different pine cone, the different lotus leaves. So divine masculine embodies that. Now, the divine feminine, to me, is embodied by Gaia. We have such a divine presence of Gaia with us now. And like I said, typically the concept of Gaia, the reason she wasn't considered one of the 12 Olympian gods in the Pantheon was because she was the original. You know, she had layers, there were layers and layers and layers of gods or energies that were born. Water and all the aspects of sylphs and nymphs and so on. And, you know, first color and light and the sun and the Helios and so on. And all, it's just exactly like the Mayans talk, and many, many cultures know this is how the world was created, through the layers of these beings coming into physical form. So all through that, though, an essence of a divine masculine energy had to be here from the first time any tangible substance was formed. And the divine feminine is, to me, Gaia, because she was the primordial goddess that created this. So that tells me she was the original divine feminine. And what does the original divine feminine carry? Well, different than the way we think of Aphrodite, who's Venus. So we tend to use the Roman names more, Venus and Rome. And the planet's name, Venus, could have been named Aphrodite. So Venus is about wishes, what you want and what you don't want. And Venus and Aphrodite embody the divine feminine, but like beauty. And then we've taken it to concentrated only on physical beauty, only on, oh, she's a curvy, beautiful, goddess woman, the perfect size and the perfect breasts and whatever. And it's not what we think. It's not, oh, you're just a woman that looks pretty. She's embodying love. That's pretty friggin' insane. When you think about love being a frequency, there's a pure love state that we can access, but there is love as a frequency that is a source code. And love is how divine feminine energy enters. So Gaia holds that mother love, right? That love of everything. I love you. She doesn't give a shit what she looks like. She's not like, does my butt look big? She's not like, oh yeah, and I'm going to grow and I'm going to burrow trees and I'm going to give you this and I'm going to hug you with that and then I'm going to decay you back down and then I'm going to form something new. And, she's not afraid and isn't attached to an idea of physical beauty. So the interesting thing about love, though, is how we perceive love, self-love, and love of another. So, so the answers for Kay, is it just Kay McKinley, would be, and there could be many layers of the idea of new love. Leap of faith with brand new love. We're all taking a leap of faith with brand new love to love ourselves, right? And so what we're doing now is we're going to say, oh, here's Zeus and here's Gaia. And Gaia is embodying, we'll go into Aphrodite a little bit more in a minute. Gaia is embodying every aspect of mother, from empty wombed, caring for people, building a home, having the ability to love everyone, accept everyone, to take you into her arms with unconditional love. And this is an acceleration phase. When you accept fully divine feminine love, you get into an accelerated healing. It's quite profound. That could be, and healing, excuse me, means becoming whole. So it could be a healing of your heart. And now the readiness for a new love. It could be the healing of your mind or a fear or a worry or your toe, all right? It could be the healing of a relationship, healing of your trust of yourself. Everything is ready to come back to wholeness. Okay, so let's look, let me share here. Okay, give me a second. I had an interesting thing happen while I was sitting on here waiting for you guys. I had everything set up and my screen, the browser on my screen shrunk. And then, I don't know, all this weird stuff happened and then it just closed it all together. So when I reopened it, it didn't have our slides. So here we go, we're good. Okay, so we are infinite. I might replace this picture with the one recently where we were swimming at sunset and everything was orange. It was insane. Insane. So next year's retreat is either October or May. I'm talking with some different people and we're going to do it. So anyway, stay in touch with me if you're interested and definitely if you want to come with me in October, let's do it. So we have all of these already. The full moon meditation does sound fine, but you have to go to about 36 minutes. And the beginning, the sound is horrible, and my apologies. And normally I would have taken it down if it wasn't for the full moon meditation. Then the mystery school ones or the healing school one, I actually take you through this healing process when you would go to a healing center. And they would do a series of things with you, purifying you, and so on. You would read the inscriptions of other people who have been healed there, the miracles, and put you in a miracle mindset. And then they would take you into the temple and you would sleep and the god would come to you with all of his daughters who are goddesses of healing. I call them the pillars of healing, Panacea, Hygeia, and so on. And It's just wonderful. So that whole one sounds great, but that's near the end too, 37 minutes or so, about halfway in. And we skipped yesterday, and then we're going to be doing these two next, the Dolphins of Delphi on Monday. I'm so excited. I have no idea what that's going to be like, but of course, you know, I love my dolphins. And tomorrow, again, I don't know exactly how this is going to unfold, but Pan wants to come. Pan has been a guide of mine. He's a god of nature, looks like a half a goat. Most people think of him playing a little lyre and dancing around in the woods. And he's a very, very incredible, powerful nature god. And I've worked with him for many, many decades and many, many ways. And so when he was like, I want to do nature, spirits, elementals, and I'm like walking meditation through, he's like, whatever. So we'll see what he has to say. Okay, so the pantheon of gods are beings with so much wisdom, and they're past the archetypes. We've already talked about all of that. So they have different specialties. And so, yeah, so let's do this. Take a breath in. Pull that breath in to and through your heart. Hold it there as long as you can. And ask to receive a message in soul medicine from these divine guides in this sacred space. And as you let it go, really softly, like barely perceptible, almost like it's oozing into your skin and your flesh. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, good. So as we enter this sacred space, we are entering Mount Olympus, and we are entering, this is where the gods, the Greek gods lived. And they have beautiful temples here. And we're going to get to go into the sacred inner sanctum. So as you come in, I've created the infinity healing chamber. You can feel yourself wrapped in the all-seeing eye between the worlds. All of these divine energies helping you to align with what is optimal for your highest good at this time. You can feel like you're walking. You can close your eyes even if you'd like. Walking. You're on Mount Olympus, and it's way up there in the clouds. But there's this gorgeous Greek temple with white marble columns. You look at the tops and you see the beautiful decorations. You see all of these incredible statues everywhere. Long colonnades on both sides. Every column is alternated by a statue of one of these amazing gods. You're walking step by step, and you feel your feet connecting now. I am ready and willing, and I ask permission to enter Mount Olympus, connect to the divine gods, guides, messengers, and medicine that are optimal for me at this time. You feel yourself connecting through your foot chakra, feeling this beautiful place. It begins to speak to you, send you energies. As you're walking along, everything looks soft, as if it's glowing with light. The marble columns, beautiful and tall, sculptures, the glint of the gold, real gold, covering the tops of each of the columns. There's no sun here, just softness. There seems to be a glow coming down over and around you. I'm ready and willing to enter this sacred space and receive. Now, you reach the stairs, and there are these amazing gold objects. They're set on the stairs, a pair. There's a masculine on the right and a feminine on the left, and each stair, the pair, is glinting, and it lines a path that you're asked to step on. You feel the energies of creation. You can sense the life force of all of the universe, and the legions of spirits and gods and elements that have come to form Earth, our planet, our body. You see 12 steps. The top 13th one is covered in growth, green grass and leaves, as if it's a beautiful meadow or forest. Now you hear deep within you, I am Zeus. I welcome you. Please take a step, and with each step, you will receive these beautiful gifts. The first step is from Hera, the Queen of Heaven, the embodiment of sky, marriage, pregnancy, women in this role. You receive her gifts and step to the next. This is Poseidon. He rules the seas and the rivers, the earthquakes, horses, all of the power of the weather that can make your life smooth sailing or rough seas. Receive your gifts and take the next step. This is Apollo, the god of sun, along with Helios, prophecy, art and music, healing and disease, music. The next step is his sister, Artemis, the young, beautiful maiden who runs in the woods under the moon. She runs with the deer. She speaks to the animals. She's independent and strong. She's athletic. She is the goddess of animals, children. She also helps with disease. She helps with hunting, but not of animals. She helps you to hunt down your truth, to find again your path of divine feminine independence. One more step, and you sense Aries. Aries, the divine masculine, holding the strength to take action, once considered war and battle, now is your ally in the war within, the battle to become your truth. And then all of his energies are freed for you to receive the energy, the strength, the power, the confidence to move forward on your soul's path. Receive his gifts. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, as you take the next step, you move into the divine feminine Aphrodite. Her gifts are glowing with beauty and softness, love, soothing like satin or silk or mist, moon. The softness of her makes you feel like caress, love, pure acceptance. You begin to feel pleasure. Is it safe? Yes. I am here to tell you your wishes are secrets that will open your world. That when you accept and receive and are nourished and nurtured, and more than that, when you enjoy the pleasure that you can embody, that you can receive, that you can overflow with and give to the world, is a healing beyond anything the planet has felt. Please take my gifts of love with you. She gives you a beautiful bag where you can put all of these tiny golden gifts from the gods. You breathe in the love and take the next step. Hermes, the messenger of the god. You feel clarity, support, freedom. You start to feel as if you have wings on your ankles or on your cap. God of travel, God of communication and language. You feel all of this wrapped up, and the good luck pours in, and the strength to be strong and athletic when needed. The ability to guide the dead, to announce the gods, to help the animals procreate, or commerce and trade and wealth. I am your ally. For those who are thieves, I am watching you. Because what I create is given freely. There's no need to steal. There is abundance. Take my gifts with you, and you will remember this, and you will never need to feel like you must take or be jealous of any other. What I have for you is here. The messages will never stop. Listen. As you take these gifts into your bag, you feel them move through your bones, your skin and your muscles glow. There's a tingle. Waters begin to rise. Fire, you feel fire, and you step to the next step, and Hephaestus is here. This is the god of fire. Volcano. He's Hera's son and has no father. He embodies the aspect of divine masculine that creates, that transforms, of alchemy, metalworking, of fire, building from spirit, volcanoes which melt the old and give new life force, new earth, building structures of your life, building a structure for your soul to feel safe in. To ignite your soul, I will create the perfect structure for you. Receive my gifts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now the watery energy, peace begins to come to you as you rise to the next step. Dionysus is here, the god of wine, of happiness, of parties, of celebration, of imbibing, to let go, of releasing the structure of the world and entering the fairy realms, whether it's drunkenness really, or the idea of imbibing of these energies until you are drunk with love, drunk with the belief that you are divine and you're a creator, and oh my goodness, we can dance. We can let go, we can enjoy the forest and the fruits. We can live here and now and in the afterlife. My gifts for you are to remember. Nurture yourself from nature. Remember to relax and let go. We enter you and bring you so much healing. When you are stressed, call on me. We will relax. We will eat grapes. We will receive the abundance and the bounty of the forest. Now you receive these gifts and feel lightness. Oh, I don't feel any boundaries or any fears. Ooh, oh, wow. All of those inhibitions, our boundaries and fears are just melting away. Relaxed and feeling full, the juicy deliciousness. You take a step, warmth, oh, the love. Oh, it feels like I'm home. Hestia is here. Oh, the goddess of the home, of the hearth, of caring and tending, the meals that nurture, the loving tendance when you're sad or confused or hurt, the place you go to grow, to feel safe and loved and seen, the place to offer. The home, the hearth feels so deep and so warm. Everything surrounding you, you can sense. Ah, this. I do know. I do. Now, you are at the last step. You see why this step is embodied by Gaia. It's full of life and greenery, almost like moss and things growing. And then as you rise up and step onto this beautiful step that opens to the temple of the Pantheon, you feel the softness of earth, moss, grass. You smell the freshness of flowers. You can hear the life moving, everything green and growing and beloved. Gaia is here. She wraps you in her arms and carries you into the temple. This is the gathering of the Olympian gods. This gathering is for you. You've asked, we've answered. You're now placed on a beautiful marble chair, satin and velvet cushion. Sink into the cushion, you feel safe. The chair is enormous. It's made from emeralds and fluorite, different crystals blended together. You sense its healing, and it's raising your frequency now, freeing you from attachments that would block your receiving of the divine communication and download that is now coming to you. In a circle around you, sitting in enormous thrones like yours, but each of a different stone, enormous pillars between them, are these 13 Olympian gods and goddesses. Relax and receive. Relax and receive. Their heart centers all open. Beams of light begin to come from them. No, they're coming through them. They're coming through each of them. You can see right through their heart chakras. It's opening to another realm. They are the connection to the realms that have the medicine, the wisdom through the Akasha. They can bring you whatever it is. Hold your question in your heart and then surrender. I ask to be an excellent receiver. I now receive and download that which is optimal for my soul's highest good. I'm going to be silent for a moment. See, focus only on receiving, witnessing, sensing. Notice all your senses and just keep receiving. If doubt comes in, let it go and keep receiving. Right, so stay where you are. Keep receiving whatever you're receiving. Never judge what you've received, how you've received it, if you know what it means. If you start to go into analytical mode, you're going to receive the full download. The energies that have come to you are optimal for you and will enter and integrate you in the. Let us all take a deep breath in. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I receive, accept, realign, release, and relax. I begin to receive messages for you as we were in that process, so I will begin to share those and anything else. Just stay in receptive mode. Zeus, Zeus, Zeus. Okay, a lot of Zeus here. Zeus. Zeus has a message for Sylvia. Sylvia. Whew. He loves you very much. He's got a very soft spot there for you. And he's showing, I keep seeing a giant statue of him bending over. You're in a wheelchair and he bends over behind you and puts his arms on the arms of the wheelchair and pushes your chair. And so, or chair, I guess it doesn't have to be a wheelchair, it's just a chair. But it's like he's putting his forearms on yours, and his heart is right up to your heart. He's completely bent over, and to be honest, I've never seen this happen. So, right? Bent over so that he can do that, and his heart is right behind you, like if he was putting his chest against the back of the chair, his head's over the top of the chair, and he's moving you. He's moving you forward. There's a big heart connection. I'm seeing a big opening in the heart, a big red opening in the heart. And I'm seeing this part that has a, it's like in you, it looks like a color, you know, like just somebody colored a circle instead of an opening. And he's pushing his heart chakra energy into you. You want to receive this. He's pushing it into you. It's almost like this is somebody cut a piece of red paper, there's a little gold around it actually too, and then stuck it here over your heart center. And it's sort of like if a poster was over a hole in the wall. And he's pushing from his heart and he's pushing you forward. And there's a lot of streams of, it's like sadness, it's like tears, it's like a father saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And he's apologizing for the divine masculine in your life. He seems to be saying that, remember, in divine language, I'm sorry doesn't mean I did something wrong and I'm telling you that. He's acknowledging pain and suffering from something. And because he is the embodiment of the divine masculine, he feels, okay, he knows, he understands. He said, I don't feel that. He knows and understands what the divine masculine is supposed to do, how it is supposed to be embodied, how it is supposed to be given, how you are supposed to have a structure around you that makes you feel safe, how you are supposed to be supported, loved, and seen, so that the divine emerald, violet, purple kind of flame that you are can dance inside of a safe container. The pain that you accumulate is from this feeling of being abandoned by the divine masculine, being left, being deserted. There is an incredibly divine healing that is happening. Please keep receiving it and come back to this. Acknowledge Zeus is doing this for you and that it is an enormous gift. Thank you. I could have stayed inside of that for a long time, honey. I have to leave you to do that, to receive the messages for the others. We stay in the divine timing of optimal perfection, abundance. Zeus, Artemis, Artemis, Aphrodite, Aphrodite. Ooh, Aphrodite for K, Aphrodite for Arete, Aphrodite for Sandra, Jerry, Aphrodite for All right, this is a message for everyone, all of us. Thank you. She stepped in, but didn't say who she was giving the message to. It's for all of us. Thank you very much. When you hear the stories and you see the sculpture, the Venus de Milo, the embodiment of the perfect feminine body, all curvy and soft. This is such a tiny reflection and only shows that love embodied is felt in the body as perfection. It is not what the body is reflecting out. Your body was designed by the divine. You had a plug. You had you were plugged in. Okay, there's like a chain almost of light. You were plugged in when you created this body. This body is not an accident. This body is not something to be shunned. It's not something to be shamed. It's not something to release. This body must, absolutely must be loved. It must be nurtured. It cannot heal itself as it is designed to be. For constant stress, for constant judgment, for constant lack of what you need. Love of self is not something that is very prominent at the moment on this beautiful place. You can embody it and then it will radiate. You can embody it and then it will grow. You can embody it and it will spread. It will become like a disease that you fear, and yet you can spread the disease of love. This love brings ease to all dis-ease. It is the medicine that when embodied can heal the heart. And then you will know that the love is worth a leap. Is it worth a leap to move into a friendship? Is it worth the leap to move into a love? To share your body? To open your heart? Are you filled with love, or are you filled with fear? Are you filled with judgment? Are you not trusting self or other? Then why step into that if it is what you are bringing? You call on me, I will fill you. I will bring over and over. It will never end. And when you see me and feel me, you will radiate with that beauty, because beauty is where power lives. There is no power without the perception of beauty. In form, the masculine and the feminine must come together, and they co-create and they procreate. And it's time for you to procreate, not from the body and the womb, from the womb of your divine being and blueprint. Your ability to co-create needs to marry with the ability to procreate. That is proactively bringing you into form. Now the love and the beauty that I radiate is embodied even deeper, because it must go to these divine energies that live in your body. It must go down to the cell. It must run through the veins. It must saturate the chakras. And for this, it needs your permission. Will you give your permission now? Will you take a leap of faith and receive love? Have you had an invitation to receive love? Think for a moment. You all have. Most of you said no. Some of you are thinking. Some of you are acting while bringing your doubt. A leap, by definition, is not bringing anything, because you no longer know where you are, what's happening, where you are walking, or what you are doing. But I'm here. You leap into me, and the love will saturate you. And when you are ready, it will be flowing out your fingertips. It will be oozing from your words. It will be filling your vision. You will see nothing except through the lens of love. Then the leap is nothing more than the desire to free the love within you and spread it. Where's your invitation? Were you invited to a party, to a date, to a job? Were you invited by soul, source, or your heart to free yourself from fear, to walk a different path? Are you listening? Are you going there? Are you invited to leap into the arms of someone who knows you? Someone that's ready to help you heal and become whole? Have you been called to swim with dolphins? Have you been called to climb a mountain? Have you been called to be silent for a week in the mountains? Have you been called to surf or ride the rivers and the rapids? Have you been called to Greece? Have you been called to Peru? Have you been called back to your family home? When you embody love and let me radiate it to you and around you, you will leap with love, knowing love will guide the way, and love will fill your path, and love will be what you see, and love and beauty and all of your wishes abundantly manifest will create, and you will know that you are the pro-creator. You're no longer abdicating, believing you can't, believing you shouldn't, believing there's limits to how much you have and you can be, the beauty, the divinity. This is what I give you. Please accept. Namaste. Wow. I think that answered a lot of questions. Arete, 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 rit, arete. There are several gods that are around you. You asked about career and relocation to another country. That's what I'm saying. And Hermes, so that's Mercury, right? With the wings on the feet or the cap, and the messenger brings the messages from the god. Remember what he said earlier. He's the god of travel. And he's all around you, wants to stay with you, wants you to realize that he's sort of flying a little spiral around your heart and then spirals up over your head and then sort of goes out here. Also, we have Demeter, missed Demeter. Ah, land. So Demeter is the mother goddess of land, of spring, of rejuvenation, of new growth. She's the goddess of the divine food, all that grows, the agriculture, and the mother of Persephone, who's taken into the underworld. So she is the goddess of the afterlife and the goddess of the spring. She's the goddess that brings the life force for all to grow and then takes it down underneath for the winter. And she's saying that you have a new location that's very powerful for you, that you need to go on a journey there, that let her take you on a journey there. Go with Hermes, go with Demeter. Sit down and meditate. See yourself walking there. See yourself moving there. See yourself going through a day. You are going to go through many cycles, they're showing you, down into some of the underworld where maybe there's darkness or fear. Maybe your doubts are living. And they're going to take you through the cycle several times. Then you will know. Then you will know. And then Hermes will guide you. Hermes has the caduceus as his staff. And this is always, always for you to awaken your own life force, to align with your own purpose, to awaken your own inner eye, and to open to your own inner guidance. So this is going to be a powerful step forward in your trusting of your inner guidance. And that goes with the career too. Do the same thing. And if they're combined, then one and then the other and then together. So you deeply dive into what it would feel like, and then just having this job, working for this company, separate, then into the country, the place, the lifestyle, the living, and then walk in and spend a few moments in that new life. This is a doorway, regardless of what you decide. It is a doorway that you have reached and you have been successfully able to open. So either way, it is a turning point and you will be moving forward. Whether it's exactly the way you think or not is not clear. That's why they want you to embody this, because you have too many fires. They're showing fires popping in the belly that are distracting the decision. Thank you. Lisa and Deb, you look like you're dancing. You look like you're like two maidens that are dancing dances together. You're very like dancing with Artemis, you know, she's running through the woods and feeling health, lots of health and strength and flexibility and movement and the nature and the animals. And there's just this sense of dancing there for your health. There's a vibrancy, there's an independence that is yawning, opening. Wow, that's weird. I saw this like mouth go like open, like a big yawn, but then keep going. So it's like an opening, like yawns make you do that. So you take in more oxygen because you're falling asleep and you're not breathing deeply. Wow, there's a lot of physical healing here. Lisa, there's some things around the lower spine near the sacral. She's tapping them. There's some spirit animals here. I see antlers. So there's some form of antelope, deer, something with antlers. And behind you, the back, the outer area seems to be like moving. It's almost blurry, like it's definitely a lot of nature, a lot of woods, but it blurs and it moves. So we're in the auric field of the forest. We're in the energies of between the worlds. And she's saying that, I want to say run with the wolves because she said run with, and I'm like, the wolves. No, run with. Run with your spirit. Run with your spirit. So you have a motor, you have energy in your sacral. And the independence, the sense of, I can do this. Don't see yourself as limited. free that, and that kind of is also for you, Deb. Don't see the limitations that you may perceive right now. They're illusions that have kept you where you are. So if you come and allow this sacral to be, I just keep seeing that big deer-like being walking past you from the right to the left, right, like its body is right at your sacral, Lisa. So it's taking things from your manifest world into your intuitive feminine world and coming back again and doing the same thing. So there's something transporting from the physical reality out. It's releasing some structural things in the sacral area that are going to be able to build a new womb. Like there's going to be the ability for, oh, they want you to be able to receive more. So this is getting it. It goes by again and again. An interesting healing. So you want to look up the idea of the Lady of the Lake, the priestess initiations, Avalon, if you're not familiar with that, Lisa, that there's a lot of that energy here, where the initiation of the goddesses, the priestesses of Avalon, would go into the woods and have to go through a sacred thing where they ran with the deer, with the male deer, and they did these strong independent things. And Artemis was extremely and is extremely important. Her name is Diana, if you relate to that in Roman. She runs in the woods. She has the bow and arrow, and considered like, you know, the huntress. However, it's not about the physicality of killing animals. It's focus. It's the ability to focus, be running, it's trusting your body, one with the forest, one with the spirit animals, and then focus. Where am I going? What am I doing? And then sending your intention out in front of you. Athena is here, and she says for each of you to realize that when a woman stands in strength, that there is resistance. When a woman owns her power, there is doubt even in the woman. And I am the embodiment of a strong, wise protector. I am the embodiment of Athens. I rule the city. I look over the people. I have the ability to protect them. I have helped all of the famous heroes. I'm the one that gives them their special information or their special shield or their magical tools. So whatever you require to embody the divine feminine in power, you have my gift of putting into this basket your fears. So Deb, she's asking you to put into the basket your fears of your limitations. And I'm seeing them like coins, like you're holding a whole handful of coins. And it's like, well, what if this, or what about that? Or can I this, or can I that? And you're just pushing them out of your hand one by one with your thumb. That's your right thumb. And she's holding the basket. Here's if you're sitting, your hands are on your knees, and you're just pushing one out at a time, and they're dropping into the basket. There's blue satin lining the basket. And as you're pushing them out, she's sending you strength. It's almost like it's infusing. It's like it's entering your body as you're pushing these coins out. And for some reason, she's saying that you're holding on to these as if they are a currency, as if they have value, as if it were money, as if it were, I can't let these go. This is money. And so as you do this, it's not depleting your abundance, it's freeing you. And she said, I'm willing to stand here as long as it takes, because Aphrodite wants you to take a leap with her into love. You can't receive the love the way that you need, the way that is optimal, if you're holding on to these things. They look very much to me like worn out old ancient coins. So they're so worn that the picture on them is like worn. You can only see like around the edges maybe a small markings of what was once on them. So these aren't just new fears of this life or this body or these circumstances at this moment. These are also very ancient. And it's very interesting because she wants you to realize that you're afraid of losing abundance. You know, the idea of this being money, sort of like just getting rid of it. And yet that is some sort of a payment, almost like that you've carried as a offering. Well, that's interesting. It's almost like some of these you've carried as an offering, the way that they would bring an offering to the gods or light a candle to the gods or make a sacrifice to the gods. That this is something like that you've carried for a very long time. And not only is she asking you to give it to her so she can fill you with strength, but then she asks you, because they're in a basket. She said she's not taking the basket. So she said, the basket will be yours and you will need to take it and you will need to release it in the way that you will know. You will know. So Aphrodite will be able to come with her purity of love for filling you up with the love that also will merge with this strength in you. Thank you. So we have gone a long time, and I'm just checking in to see if we are complete. So beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you to the Pantheon of gods and these divine beings who have given us all these gifts. Demeter asks that the gift that we missed, we didn't see her step, was because she was in the underworld. And she is the full cycles of life. She is the cycles of nature. But to remember that her gift is as sad as it can be to see your daughter leave you and live in the underworld for half of the year. The joy that happens when she comes back brings you the energy to bring life back to the entire world. And this is my gift to you. No matter how much you lose or how much sadness or grief you have or how hard it feels that you've gone through the underworld, you will now reunite with the love, and that will bloom in your life. As we leave this sacred gathering with gratitude and love in our hearts, we ask now, I'm asking us, all of us as a circle, to overflow with love and gratitude, to fill this divine space, to send it to those guides that have come to us and to all others here, and to this opportunity to enter this sacred space and receive these incredible divine downloads. Now take a deep breath in, bring that gratitude into you, and everything starts to disappear as you slowly come down in your house, into your room, to enter your aura, to enter your crown. You move through the head, the neck, the arms. Deep breath in. Enter the body through the heart and the belly, the sacral, the root, sinking down in, allowing yourself to move down, feeling fully embodied, down into your earth star, down into Gaia. I am that I am, and I receive with gratitude this divine messages and medicine for my soul. I give great thanks to Gaia and Zeus to Artemis and Apollon, to Hephaestus and Hera. I give great thanks to Ares and Hermes, to Zeus, Poseidon. I give great thanks to Hestia and Dionysus, Athena, Aphrodite. We give great thanks to all of these divine essences for what they have embodied, what they have taught, what they hold, and what they bring. I receive and accept. This is true. This is real. It is mine. I am now complete with this healing. In divine timing, I walk now the path of my soul's song. Thank you, thank you, thank you. May this circle be open, yet unbroken. The divine energies remain a path to us as is optimal. All right, well, I was like, I need to quit, and they're like, you need to listen. So there you go. We have a nice long experience together, and I would love to receive any feedback you have from the messages and the experience. Carmen says, oh, how to bring students to seminars. Sorry, honey, I didn't see that, but I think you probably got some medicine and answers in that. Sylvia said, oh my, I get it. Remember, it brought tears and gratitude to Zeus. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Dan, for bringing this to me. Oh, you're so welcome, honey. It was extremely powerful, extremely powerful. Lisa, hi, thank you so much. Great information. So made perfect sense. Oh, perfect. I will listen again and look up what you recommended. Yay! Yeah, and Lisa, you're in my class, so you can text and ask and share more about what unfolds. Yeah, Debbie, that was really beautiful too. You have some deep stuff. Deep stuff. Yeah, that whole thing with Athena, go for that. All right. Hi, Marnie. Carrie. Okay, everybody, namaste. So beautiful. I'm going to stay in these energies and go see what my spirit would like to do next. Sure, if I'm going to go in the ocean or the pool, the hot tub, or the couch. This is my path right now. Be in the flow so that I align with the optimal energies. Please reach out to me if you're interested in Greece this year or next, because there's something happening with this that is unfolding. So if you're familiar with me and you've kind of watched this unfold over the last few weeks, it's a process for me too to understand. I want to walk the path absolutely correctly. I want to make sure that the people who are meant to be there are going to be there. Am I radiating? Am I, letting my blocks keep people from coming? And then next year we have October and we have May, and both of these dates keep coming in and out. And I'm having people reaching out to me, oh, next year would be nice. And so, oh, October's too far. This is this. So even if you're remotely interested in any of the sacred retreats, of course, you should get on. There is I should send that out. There's a link to get into an opt-in where we will let you know more about the sacred retreats and things, because they're going to keep coming. There's Celtic ones and Egypt, most likely at some point again, Italian, and some energies have been speaking to me from New Mexico, and so I'm not sure if it's New Mexico or someplace near there. So yeah, I'm really excited to walk this path with you, and I want you to hear your inner voice too. So wouldn't it be wonderful if we all made decisions not based on, oh no, what will he think, she think, should I spend the money? Shouldn't I spend the money? How should I do the money? Will it be worth it? I don't know, whatever else. If we just knew, if we were really in that space of going, okay, this feels right, take the next step. We want to be connected because we can take off with our ego mind and say, oh, it meant this, and go do a bunch of stuff and then wonder why that was kind of painful. And yet, if you follow your design, like you listen to your emotions, or you listen to the part of you that you have, like emotions, they need to be listened to through the whole spectrum. one emotion is wrong. I'm an emotional being, and man, oh man, oh man, I can tell you, I can get into a high state. I can get excited. I can be like, this is the thing. We're going to make the world. We're going to bring peace to the planet. And then I can just ride that high and make 1,000 decisions when I'm up there. And then I can go down to the doom and gloom of hell. And I don't want to make a decision there, so I don't. But if I make the decision there, am I really aligned with the truth? No. I'm feeling what one aspect of this experience would be like. Woo, yay. Then we kind of come into the center and, oh, okay. And so when you feel comfortable with a decision, it's not about whether that decision made you comfortable because, oh, good, now I don't have to now I don't have to pay for something, or now I don't have to take a leap, or now I don't have to put myself out there. Now I don't have to talk to that person. Now I don't have to speak up and say I have boundaries or something like that. So, so that's what we're moving towards. So imagine that and enjoy that and let me know. Love you. I don't know what this is. Little message.